Oh, we're a bit late pressing the button then, wasn't I? Good morning to you. It's Saturday, the 8th of December, 2018. Welcome to this morning's United Kingdom talk, coming to you from our television studio complex in Royal Berkshire in Bracknell this morning, boys and girls. Just a little thing, when you see the text number up there at top, most people type their messages on the Facebook or the YouTube or the Periscope. Some people, if they don't have access to that, do use a text number which is up there, 07551 259 675. If you haven't texted before, or you're not a regular texter, please, if you could just put your name and where you are, roughly, not the exact address, unless, of course, you look like Malik or from the Jungle programme, or maybe Cristiano Ronaldo. Unless you look like one of those two, don't bother with your full address, because I won't be round. Okay, I'm not coming round. Cheryl Cole, no need to put your address, darling. Oh, she's had a bit of bad news this week, hasn't she? Did you see it in the news today? It's in the papers today. Let me just read you that quickly. In virtually every single paper today, Cheryl Cole, she's been axed by L'Oreal from a £4 million deal because, and I quote from the Sun, oh, you'll love this, I quote from the Sun this morning, because their boss favours classier celebs. No class. No class, dear. Just because you've got loads of money doesn't mean you've got loads of class. I have nothing, and yet I do have a lot of class, as you well know. People with money, they think they've got a lot of money, and that automatically gives them class. No, darling. Not if you're running around the stage with your legs fully parted while you're doing your little dance routines. That is not class. Okay, now let me think. Our dear Katie, Duchess of what is it now? William's wife, Duchess. Where's it? What's she Duchess of? I can't remember now. That is class, dear. That is class. Meghan, not too sure about her yet. The Queen, that is class, dear. Cheryl Cole, sorry, darling, not class. You may look pretty, but that's it. There's nothing else there. Nothing else there, I'm afraid. It says, troubled Cheryl. Oh, they're calling her Cheryl. So many different surnames, dear. That doesn't go down well either, I'm afraid, my love. So many different. I mean, what do we call you this week? Who are you married to this week? We don't know. I don't know. I can't keep up with you, darling. What were you and Katie Price in competition to see how many husbands you can get through in a year? Unbelievable. Troubled Cheryl Tweedy, it says in the Sun, has been sacked. We all get sacked. Don't take it to heart, my love. We all get sacked at some point. Usually another manager comes in and doesn't like you for some reason, because you're probably more popular than he is. So don't take it too much to heart, my love. But nevertheless, she's been sacked by hair and beauty giant L'Oreal because you're worth it. Oh, because I'm worth it. Really? Well, you weren't, apparently, were you? The Geordie singer, 35, it says there. Oh, come on. 35? And the rest, dear. The Geordie singer, 35, has lost a deal rumoured to have been around £4 million because you're worth it firm. A beauty industry source says it's a hammer blow for Cheryl at this stage of her career. What career? What career? Now, let me think. How did that record do in the charts? Can't remember now. In fact, can't even remember the record. A beauty industry. After Karen was hiring let me have a look. Sorry, I beg your pardon. Cheryl, 35, was told she was being axed in August. Oh, she kept it quiet that long. Unbelievable. She kept that quiet that long. When Karen Flavard-Jones left... what does she do? I don't know who's she? Is that an actress? Karen Flavard-Jones. Is she as popular as Julie Andrews? Or Marlene Dietrich? I don't know these names. Who are these people? Who are they? Who am I? No one. That's right. When Karen Flavard-Jones left Garnier to become L'Oreal's new boss. Well, I'm sorry, I don't know that name. A beauty industry source revealed after Karen was hired, the writing was on the wall for Cheryl. At Garnier, Karen, favoured classier celebs like Holly Willoughby. Now, she is. I have to say, Holly Willoughby, she does have a certain amount of class to her that Cheryl doesn't have, doesn't she? I wonder why that is. Maybe it's because she hasn't got her arse and breasts out all over the television all the time, dear. You know, that dancing is just horrendous. Oh, legs wide open, up and down, like you're riding a horse. What, with this being a children's programme? Looked like she's riding a horse. She also fancied Davina McCall, this lady who's in charge. The decision to axe Cheryl's contract is a hammer blow at this stage of her career. L'Oreal has been her most regular income. Well, how much money do you need, dear? £4 million is enough, isn't it? You can live on that for the rest of your life. Just take it easy. Get yourself one of those nice armchairs, my love. Or if you really want to work, you know, McDonald's are always looking for people. They'd probably give their right arm to have you, Cheryl Cole, behind there. Would you like fries with that? Yeah. How many nuggets? Would you like to go large? Do you want to go large? Vanilla or strawberry? I reckon you could do that job, lovey. You'd be very good at that. You would be popular there. And you'd meet an awful lot of new husbands as well. You could have a new husband every day if you wanted to. That's assuming, of course, you haven't got a new sort of a new husband every day now. I was the same, Cheryl, when I was your age. I had a new husband every night. It was wonderful, dear. End of the night comes. Bye-bye. Next. Oh, dear. Poor old Cheryl. But never mind, darling. You'll probably find another little job. Maybe you could advertise something else. I don't know. What else could you advertise? Barbecues, perhaps? You could advertise barbecues at home base, couldn't you? Huh? I mean, you'll have to wait till the summer, but if it's barbecues, at least you'd be able to get your kit off for that as well, wouldn't you? I mean, you could parade around in a small swimming costume. You've got a nice body, I'll give you that. Not as nice as mine, but it's not bad. You know, skimpy little knickers and a bra on, wandering around home base, advertising their barbecues for the summer period. That'll probably go down quite well, won't it? Oh, dear. Now, as I was saying, yeah. So if you're going to send a text on that number, please send your name as well. Unless you're a regular texter, in which case your name will already be on the system to come out. As indeed Maureen's has. Good morning to Maureen this morning, who sends in a little text. Good morning, Maureen. She bought me a new orchid. Can you see that? There it is. It's not quite positioned very well, is it? It's quite large. A lot of flowers on it, yeah. Maureen came to the karaoke last night and bought me an orchid and another packet of delightful sandwiches. I must ask you, Maureen, please don't put galaxies in there. Oh, no, I must not start becoming addicted to chocolate again. Please. Thank you very, very much for putting 2 galaxies in there in the last couple of lots of sandwiches, but I must ask you not to put those in there. Delicious though they are, sandwiches and crisps are enough for me, darling. Thank you ever so much. Thank you, Maureen. She come and sung. Oh, we didn't get to your, what was it, the Jingle Bell Rock one last night, did we, Maureen? No, I was looking forward to that. We didn't quite get there. Maureen came along to the karaoke last night, which was good. Let's read some of your messages coming in this morning. Over on first message of the day from nephew Gary Butler. Good morning, Gary. Morning, are you off to the football today? Nephew Gary Butler, I think, is taking great nephew Harry Butler to the football. Good morning. I'm on More Than EastEnders, yes, and far more interesting as well, I think you'll find. I don't watch EastEnders. I haven't watched EastEnders for many years, actually. Years and years. I think I stopped. I tell you when I stopped watching it, when Den and Angie got divorced. Did he die, Dirty Den, recently? I think didn't he die recently? I can't remember now. Yes, we were talking about that the other day. People who I thought had died and hadn't. I mean, we practically buried someone on the show the other night. I'm not going to mention it again. And they weren't dead. Dear me, get your fat. I must do more homework before I come on. Morning to Ray Reynolds. Morning, Ray. Ray turned up at the karaoke as well last night. It was very, very busy last night. If you ever want to come, we do 2 karaokes, both at Central Station Bar in Wharfdale Road in King's Cross. It's a great lot of fun and you'll meet some wonderful characters there. Mondays, 7:30 to 11 with cheap drinks, and also on Friday from 8:30 until midnight. That's every week at Central Station Bar, Wharfdale Road, King's Cross. Good morning to Craig Mackenzie. Good morning, Craig, who's in the shed this morning, aren't you, Craig? Morning to you, Craig. Joanna's there on YouTube. Katie Ann Patterson there on Facebook Live. So she has got so many surnames. Why doesn't she? Why can't she just stick to one, for Christ's sake? Oh no, mind you, I can't criticise her for not being able to stick to one. I wasn't able to either. I could have 3 on the go at the same time. I kid you not. It was this place that I used to work at, the most wonderful place you could ever imagine, called the Black Cap. And in there, I might be chatting up 3 lads all at the same time. I was on the stage DJing. There's one over there, and none of them knew I was chatting up. Eventually, it got closer and closer to the end of the night, and I thought, oh my God, I'm in trouble here. All 3 are going to wait for me at the end of the night. I had to go out the back door. I'm not making that up. On my life, and that happened several times in the course of the time I was terrible. But, because you're like that, you end up on your own. That's just the way it is, But you had a lot of fun in the process, and that's what matters, isn't it? She's just the same as me. I was exactly the same. Good morning to Emma Ramskill. Good morning. Morning from West Yorkshire. Oh, what a lovely part of the world you live in, Yorkshire. I love it there. Been to a few haven holiday places there. Thornwick Bay. And I think there was a place called that might be Norfolk. Wild Duck. Where's that haven holiday one? I love Yorkshire. You just keep driving through this marvellous countryside. And went on the train from Whitby. You know the train from Whitby? Oh, got on the train there and just drove to Emmerdale country. Oh, beautiful place. You're very lucky to live there, Emma, and welcome to the show. All right. Good morning to Rob. Cheryl belongs in a lap dancing club. All she seems to wear in her performance is stockings and leather. Yeah, I know. She could get a very good job and a lot of money as a lady of the night. She really could. She could go do any of those jobs. You could pay her to dress up at your request. Whatever you want. You could do the whiplash and all that business. She got a lot of money for doing that. She would. And she might actually have a few more husbands as well doing that as well. Although she might have to borrow other people's husbands as well. she just come across someone who might nick someone else's husband. Fortunately, I don't have one, but there we go. John Parrish, good morning, John. Emma says she wish I'd look like Cheryl, a bit taller maybe. Are you small, Emma? I'm a small person. We are midgets together. We are midgets. I'm 5. I think I'm about 5'7", something like that. I am quite short. I know some of the blokes they wear not high heels, those things inside their shoes to make them look a bit taller, don't they? I'm sure tall people, certainly tall lads, get the more offers. I'm sure that is the case. Yes. I mean, sometimes I go up and I'm trying to chat to someone and they're looking over me. They don't look down, so they can't see me. I become invisible. Good morning. Katie says it sounds like she's riding something. Yeah, something, Katie, I'm sure. Look it up on some of those dodgy internet sites. Anyone with Tumblr, incidentally? Tumblr about to change the way you upload videos and certain videos and pictures, aren't they? Very well. I predict they'll be closed within a week. Tumblr. Dear me. No more naughty videos and things on there. I've already unsubscribed. Morning to Diana. Welcome along. It's love. Oh, and a special warm welcome to those of you rejoining us from O2 this morning. It's lovely to have you back with us. Hello to Thomas on Vaughan Live. Thinking someone had died that hasn't. Yeah, I won't say who it was, but we were talking on Thursday night. I think it was either Thursday morning or Thursday night that I thought someone had died, and it wasn't them. It was someone else. Terrible, dear. Body parts in small pieces, Katie. That's what I've got. Body parts in small pieces. Thank you. Good morning to Julian. Morning. Who's still in his bed. Morning, JJ. JJ from the karaoke last night. Hope you had a nice time last night. He has a good time. Your little friend didn't sing. Very disappointing. Was the bloke with the hat trying to chat you up? It looked like the bloke with the hat. He's French. Bonjour. Comment ça va, JJ? Comment ça va? Ça va bien, merci. Et vous? I can do all the languages, dear. Ouvrez la fenêtre. Fermez la porte. Any more languages you want me to try? I speak with many tongues. Many, many tongues, JJ. Morning to you. Still in bed at 20 to 10. I'm up at 7:45, every morning without fail. Except Sundays. 7:20 on a Sunday I get up. We can't be laying in bed there all day. I know, JJ, you're quite young. What, you're about 20? Well, you must be about 21, 22, something like that. I was very, very impressed. I met JJ was at the karaoke last night. And I can't remember what we were talking about, but it came around to the subject of age. And I said to him, well, how old do you think I am? He said, 38, maybe early 40s. And I'm like, 55. I don't think he believed me. 55, JJ, but thanks for the compliments. Thanks for the memories. Very kind of you, sir. Morning, JJ. Ray says no sound on the video when I did Blue Christmas on Facebook. Well, Facebook would have taken that off then. Try YouTube. It may be on the YouTube version. Okay, might be on the YouTube version. You should find a link to the YouTube version in the sort of summary underneath the Facebook version. You may find it on there, Ray, unless they've taken it off as well. Thomas says, are you easily confused? Yes. At all times, I am very, very easily confused. That is absolutely true, Thomas. Emma loves Whitby. It's a beautiful place. Whitby, I can just describe to you, boys and girls, which is in Yorkshire. Highly recommended for you to go and visit there. It's very old, worldy England. A lot of old people walking out, and they've all got dogs for some reason. I don't know why that is. You've got to watch out for the massive seagulls that will fly down and nick your chips as you're walking along. But it is a lovely fishing village, and you can go on little boats and go out into the sea a little bit and down that. It's just lovely. Lovely place, Whitby. It really is. Diane, did you miss me last night? Weren't you there? I didn't notice, to be honest, Diane. All I noticed is that there was 2 less pissed people in there than there normally was. Was one of those you, lovey? Diana gets wrecked. She gets wrecked there, doesn't you? But I don't care. As long as you have a good time, I don't care. Morning to John Parrish this morning. Morning. Paul and Lou are in there from Birmingham. My friend's going up to Birmingham today, Tom Edwards. To one of the universities there. He's got a book coming out called Is There Anybody Out There? Tom was, and I mentioned this a few times now, he was a continuity announcer on a lot of the ITV stations, including Thames and Central and HTV and Anglia. He was also on a lot of radio stations, presented Look East. He's got a book signing today in Birmingham, if anyone's going along there to one of the universities. All right. But watch out for massive seagulls, Thomas. Evil things. My niece-in-law, Stacey, that's my nephew's wife, was sitting there and one flew and landed on her shoulder. She was terrified. I was laughing my head off, as usual. Good. Excuse me. Yes, I've got Christmas cards here as well, Maureen. Thank you. I should be opening those later. So, wasn't too cold up north last week, I have to say. Didn't have to have the fire on a lot, although that's going to change next week, apparently, when I go back up to Lincolnshire on Monday night, Tuesday morning after work. It will be very cold up there. But funnily enough, the weather this year, I've still got, here we are now, second week in December, just into the second week in December, I've still got my trailing geranium hanging baskets out the front of my house here, flowering. Unbelievable. Usually, come sort of October, November, that's it, you're chucking them in the bin. No. And the other thing is, they're not even brown. You know how a lot of the flowers go, the leaves go brown as the cold weather takes over? Nope, not those geraniums. I've got 4 of them. Masses of, not masses of flowers now, but masses of plant and a few flowers still on my hanging basket geraniums. How fantastic is that? I wonder how much longer we're keeping going. What we need, as soon as you get a period of very, very cold weather that lasts a couple of weeks, that'd do them in, but we haven't had it yet, have we? And of course, we've seen all the weather predictions. Worst winter ever, as they say every bloody year. No doubt, come April, they'll be telling us it's going to be the hottest summer ever. Mind you, they were right with that one last year. On the other hand, if you keep saying it every year, then you're bound to get it right at some point, aren't you? Eh? Thomas says evil things. What, geraniums? Don't you like geraniums? Is it the smell you don't like? Do you not like... Do you not like geraniums? Why is that? Diana says, I don't always get drunk. Well, that's a lie if ever I've heard one in my life. Had you just noticed your nose has grown a little bit more, Diane? Perhaps you should come to church with me, and one of the sins that you've committed today is thou shalt not lie, lovey. It says it in that thing, you know, that 10 Commandment thing, doesn't it? I shall be having a word with Father David tomorrow about you at the Corpus Christi in Wokingham. Outrageous. They are evil things, seagulls. And those beaks, they're scary. They're big, aren't they? And they fat. There's a few seagulls I'd like to take down to Slimming World with me, I think. Talking of which, I have weighed myself this morning, and I'm very, very pleased to tell you that I am the same weight as I was last week. That has surprised me. There's been some very, very naughty activity of items of food disappearing down my gullet this week. And it doesn't seem to have put the weight up, so I'm quite pleased about that. I'd like to lose some now. I'd like to lose about 10 pounds, actually. But there you go. Katie says the drought is really bad over there where she is. We need rain. I'll send some over. Don't worry. Do not worry. Do not worry. Good. So, where are we now? Yep, so next week it's looking like it's going to be cold up in Lincolnshire. But I have a new heater. It arrived yesterday. I have a new mobile gas heater. So it's this big metal thing. It's got some things on the front, you know, where the heat comes out of. And in the back of it, you load a small gas bottle. I think 15 kilogram gas bottle you put in there. And that's for additional heating in my caravan, which it is a job to keep that caravan warm in the winter, especially as it's not a winter spec caravan. You know, a lot of the heat disappears out the walls and up the roof straight away, unfortunately. But that's just how it is, you know. I'll probably buy, at some point, a new caravan, possibly next year. Brand new one. Winter spec. But I've got to save up a bit of cash and borrow a bit. I don't want to borrow the whole lot. That'd be too much. So I've got a new mobile gas heater, which arrived at my sister's yesterday from Amazon. It's the only place I could find one. It's a job finding one of those, I'll tell you. Really is. We went, do you know, there's a Calagas shop in Lincoln. Now, you would think Calagas shop, they'd have a selection of heaters against the wall for you to look at, wouldn't you? You would actually think that, wouldn't you? No, one. Well, I say one. There were 4 items, only one of which was the sort of heater that I wanted. And it was 85 quid. Now, I'd already been on Amazon and looked at heaters, and they were coming out at anywhere between about 55 and 80, 90, 100 quid. And I don't need an expensive one, so I'm looking at something that was 55. I expected to pay a little bit more as it was in a shop. No, couldn't find one anywhere. B&Q, nothing in there. B&M, they don't sell them. Went to loads of shops looking for a mobile gas heater. In the end, I gave in and just ordered it off Amazon. You know, this is where the shops are going wrong. They haven't got the stuff when you go in there to buy it. It was the same with a little electrical socket thing that I was after. I wanted another Wi-Fi plug. Okay, I went to PC World. You know, the other, she comes out with a book, doesn't she? You know, Walter, can I help you, sir? I'm after a Wi-Fi plug. Number one, she didn't know what the bloody hell I was talking about. A Wi-Fi plug, dear. You plug it in and you control it with your phone. Oh, well, have a look down here. This is PC World in Boston. So, Joe, we don't have any of those, but we can all. Out comes the laptop or the device she was holding. We can order one online. If no one, what's the point of that? I can do that myself off Amazon. Thank you very much. Goodbye. This is where the shops are going. Well, you go in there to buy something and they haven't got them here. Order it offline. Well, why did I bother coming all this way to purchase something? And it was the same with the fires. Couldn't find a mobile gas fire for love of money. Those are shops we tried. Ordered it off Amazon. I think it was £56. Free delivery. Came 2 days later. Delivered it to my sisters. Because obviously it's silly to bring it down here and take it the whole way up again. So I had it delivered to my sisters, which arrived yesterday. They said it would arrive by next Tuesday. It arrived yesterday. 2 days after I ordered it. How fantastic is that? And I know on all the news, a lot of people in shops and all that say, Amazon, it's not fair. You know, they've got the advantage. Stuff gets delivered sometimes the next day, less than 24 hours after you ordered it. And I haven't got Prime or anything like that. I pay as you go. Pay as you go with the Amazon. It's all there. Push a button, it comes. That's it. In fact, my lovely neighbour next door is holding on to 3 items for me, one of which came from America, Amazon in America, which is my sister's Christmas present. I shall tell you what that is nearer to Christmas. But that came all the way from America within a week. Wow. Unbelievable. So the shops have, apart from the fact that Amazon, yes, they probably have got an advantage now. Big warehouse full of stuff, you know. I suppose you go in Currys, they only stock the stuff that's really popular. But you know, for you not to be able to get stuff, well, you just go elsewhere then. And then next time, I'll probably just go straight on Amazon. Oh, I can't be, but I'm not going to bother going down to the shop because they probably haven't got it. So I'll order it off Amazon. Save myself getting in the car and the petrol and the parking and all that. That's the other thing, of course. Parking in some places. Now, admittedly, up north, I've found it's not too bad. It tends to be about £2 for 2 hours. Maybe £2.50, something like that. Try and do that in London. Pound every 10 minutes, more like. Shocking. Even the shopping centre in Bracknell here, I think it's about £4 or something like that. You don't have any of that in the States, you know. You just pull into these massive car parks. It's all free. You know, they make the money from the sale of the clothes. There's a lot of greedy people in this bloody country. There really is. Very, very greedy people. Diana's off. Bye-bye now. Thomas says gas heaters are the best. I hope so. And also, with gas heaters, they're more as a pay-as-you-go thing, aren't they? As well. Do you know what I mean? When you run out of gas, you have to buy another one. None of this electricity and it's going up and up and up and up, and then 3 months later you get a massive bill. I quite like the whole pay-as-you-go with fuel and that type of thing. Thomas prefers a fireplace. Yeah, me too. Me too. All these heaters, I hope you have good ventilation. Very good in the caravan. Got holes all over the place, John. Look it up, dear. Ventilation in caravans. It's always very good. Over on Periscope. We've got someone on Periscope. I have to. If you're on Periscope, sometimes it takes me a bit longer to get to your messages because they come up in a completely different place for some reason. And Lynn says, what's the end game if you only buy from Amazon? The end game is that there will only be Amazon, I'm afraid. But what can you do? If the shops haven't got this stuff, then you just order it from Amazon. That's how it is. I'm convinced in years to come, you'll get everything from one company who will have a complete monopoly, and it'll be someone who just gets. It won't happen in probably my lifetime, but that's coming. You can see it now on the high streets. Less and less shops, you know, replaced by coffee shops and charity shops. I mean, how many coffee shops can you have in one street? A quid. Lynn wants to know what a quid is. A quid is, it's a pound. A quid is a pound. 1 quid is a £1. It's like English slang for pounds, all right? Lynn says no free parking in the US. I don't. Well, when I've been to the US, like Florida, you drive into these massive malls. It's all free parking there, or it always has been. Wherever I've been, actually. Designer outlets in Vegas, I think that was all free parking, place like that. Thomas buys off eBay. Yeah, eBay as well, that's a good place. Good morning, Roy Brownlow. Welcome to the show, Roy. Anyway, so that's it. My gas fire is now at my sister's. Not only that, my brother-in-law informs me he's got a spare gas bottle, so that'll save me 40 quid. I don't know how much gas is in there, but when you buy these gas bottles, the first time you buy it, it's like 80 quid because you've got a £40 deposit on the bottle. You see? Then you take that bottle in and you get another one. You're probably better off to have 2 bottles. So when one runs out, you just put the other one on. And I'll see how that goes. That should go all right. That should go all right in my thing. A nice drive down south last night, I have to say. No hold-ups anywhere. It takes about 3.5 hours to drive from Lincolnshire to London on a Friday night. I leave at about 4 o'clock. I get to work around about 7:30. I was earlier last night. So that was good. Great night at the karaoke, as I say. All our regulars were there last night. Maureen was there. We had Ray Reynolds, the lovely Roy was there, some new people, as I say, JJ, who's with us this morning on the show. Wonderful night, wonderful night. Claire was there, lovely Claire was there. And lots of new faces as well, which was nice. It's nice to have new faces turning up and having their go. Some people, once again, and we're 12 o'clock on a Friday, so it finishes at 12. To be honest, usually by 10:30, the list is full up. You know, these are people that came in just as we started, 8:30. They made a point of coming in early so they can sing more. You know, so when people come in at 10:30, 11 o'clock, you know, they can we sing us? I'm afraid we're full up at the moment. Can you squeeze me in? No. I can't. How can I squeeze you in? Not without taking someone else out. And then they said, well, they've sung 3 times or twice. Yeah, but they've been sitting there since 8:30. You've walked in. You can't just walk onto the stage. It's not fair on anyone else. But you try explaining that to them. They don't care. They couldn't give a toss about anyone else. Only themselves. It gets to a point where you just can't take any more songs. You know, if you did, someone else would have to come out. Or you get to the end of the night. I'll tell you what, that happens as well. I'll put you at the bottom of the list, but I can't promise. Thank you. And then end of the night comes. They haven't been sung up. They come shouting and screaming at you. You promised I would sing. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. No, I didn't. I told you I'd add you to the bottom of the list. And if there was a gap, you would. There wasn't a gap. And then they go off in a huff. Sometimes they then go over to the bar staff and report you for being rude because they can't get their own way. You find that a lot nowadays. Because people can't get their own way, they say that you're really rude. Well, I'm sorry, we're full up. No, you're rude. Like that. Aren't they funny? Weird, stupid people. Stupid people. They are stupid. Good morning to Edward Oliver. Welcome to our show this morning, Edward. Just a little bit of fun. Katie enjoyed watching the karaoke last night. I'm glad you did, Katie. Lynn is in Florida. Lynn says, in Florida, yes. But cities like Chicago, New York or LA, it isn't free. That's for sure. Thank you. Well, I didn't know that, Lynn. So you do have to park in some, pay for parking in some places of the US. There are actually some free places to park in the UK. You know, sometimes we get shops and some do have free parking spaces, but not many I've come across anyway. So lots of new faces there last night. Reminds me of that programme, New Faces. Do you ever remember that? It was like a talent show. Years and years ago that was. New Faces, hosted by the great entertainer who's sadly no longer with us. I think she died from breast cancer problem. Marty Kane. What a warm, pleasant host she was. Marty Kane, I did like her. She came across all right on there. And there was this awful woman called Nina Mishkov. She was like the Simon Cowell of the 1970s, but much uglier. I mean, she was just horrible to people when they came and did their little thing. And I think it's unnecessary to be horrible. I was saying last night, funnily enough at the karaoke, and there was a girl in there who sung Vera, who sung near the beginning of the night, and she just picked a song that really suited her. And I congratulated her, you know, on the microphone. You know, well done. That song really suits you. And I also said, if a song doesn't suit someone, I won't say anything. If you were really awful and bad, I won't say anything. I don't. Unless you come up to me and say, what did you think of my song? I'll say to you, really? You really want to know? And they say, yeah, okay. And I take them quietly and say in their ear, that one wasn't for you, or something like that. But otherwise, unless I am asked an honest opinion, I will not give it. Because you see, some people come to the karaoke, and so what if they're not brilliant singers? That's one. It's not a bloody talent show. It's not a talent show. You know, if you're not a good singer, it doesn't matter. Just come and have a laugh. I mean, people always laugh at me when I've had a sing song, I tell you that. And I would never, ever comment on someone's bad singing, ever, unless they came up to me and then I'd take them to the side quietly and say, that was awful. Then I would. But it's not necessary to go up to people and say, oh, you're a really crap singer. We have people sometimes, because we stream our karaoke as much as we can. YouTube is the best place to find our karaoke stream. And if you go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Chris Reardon UK, you'll find the whole show on there. Some of it goes on Facebook, but they have trouble with their copyright thing, and we often get cut off on there. All right, we never used to, but it happens now. And some people can be quite cruel with their comments. But I do have to tell you that the moment I notice that, I'll delete the comment and block the person straight away. We blocked someone last night, actually. The funny thing is, a friend of mine, Colin, his name is, he spotted the remarks last night, and I would not tell you who they were about. I won't tell you who they were about, because, again, that can be quite hurtful towards people. And you might well say, yeah, but you're horrible about people like, I don't know, Katie Price or Cheryl Cole or someone like... Yeah, but they're in the eye. They're in the public eye. These people are normal people like you who want to come and have a laugh. You don't want to be slagging them off on my wall. You know, what a terrible singer. I need earplugs or something like that. No, if I see that straight away, I remove the message and block it straight away. Now, unfortunately, on the night, I can get quite busy on the stage, so I might not notice it. And it takes someone else to tell me, oh, Chris, someone's putting nasty messages on there. Then I'll have a look, you see. Then I'll have a look. Sometimes it doesn't happen until the next day. I got a message from Colin this morning saying someone had been nasty about someone else. And I looked through and I found it straight away, took the messages off and blocked the person. Because it's unnecessary. Unnecessary to be horrible to people, unless they're in the public eye. And that's how to deal with it, all right? Paul says... Let's have a look. Paul says, PC Award shop staff are terrible. They might as well go like Argos and Screwfix, a catalogue shop. I think we'll see more shops just like catalogue pickup shops. Yeah, I think so, probably as well. Probably as well. All right. Mickey Most, apparently, was on New Faces. My brother was runner-up one year. Is that right, John? I used to like New Faces. I like the scoreboard, Spaghetti Junction. That was wonderful. All these lights going around the wall and people pushing buttons and all that. It was very, very exciting. Thomas says it's karaoke is all about having fun. Yes, it certainly is. It certainly is. Roy saw the comment. Yeah, if you check back now, Roy, that person and his comments should have all disappeared, I hope. Edward Oliver, what's the topic? Well, haven't you been watching? Have you not been watching? What do you mean, what's the topic? Well, we're talking now. We're talking now, aren't we, Edward? Don't understand the question. John, I've heard Roy sing. Yes, okay. Thomas can't even whistle. My dad was a good whistler. My dad could whistle. It was always whistling. Always whistling. All right, so that's that. Just a moment, please. Let me just scroll back there. There we go. Good. And as I say, Maureen, she bought me some Christmas cards as well, which I have here. Now, you can, if you want to, send a Christmas card into the show, if you want, and I'll be happy to show it and read it out. Now, I've got 3 here from Maureen. Are they all from you? Here we go. Oh, that's a nice religious one there, with Mary and Joseph and the baby Jesus. There we are. Look at that. That's nice, isn't it? And that's from Maureen. To my special friend, Chris, from Maureen. Look at that. Oh, no money in it, Maureen. How disappointing. Oh, yeah, one there. Thank you. We'll put those... I won't have room to put all these up, I don't think. Oh, by the way, I'll be working later on. We've got a Christmas background for in here, which should be up by tomorrow. Okay? Should get that up by tomorrow. What's this one here? At Christmas, your friendship makes the world feel like home. Friends are so important in many ways. They're kind of like substitute family. They make us feel that we belong here. They decorate our lives with love and caring so we don't feel so alone. Friends are like therapy for the heart and exercise for the soul. They accept us and they are concerned for us. They are there when we need them through the ups and downs of life. They make us laugh and let us cry. They provide the support system, all we need to get by. Everyone needs friends. They make us feel connected to the world around us. They keep us from giving up when life is difficult. They're like our security blankets. Every heart needs the company of friends, the give and take of people we're closest to. Thank you for your friendship. You are so important to me. Isn't that nice? Isn't that lovely? Thank you, Maureen. That's 2 Christmas cards from Maureen. I've never had 2 Christmas cards from the same people on the same year. There we are. We'll put that one there. Now, is this from you as well? Or is this from someone else? I reckon this will be from someone else. You can't possibly be sending me 3 Christmas cards, can you? Hang on a minute. What's this one? To fab friends, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's. Oh, here's another one. Look, there's another one from Maureen. There I look. What's that? Is that candles? Candles and presents. Candles and presents from your number 1 fan, Maureen. Look at this. Thank you, Maureen. 3 lovely cards there from Maureen. Isn't that lovely? That's really, really nice. Thank you, Maureen. Don't forget, gang, we were talking about presents the other week, gifts and things like that. Don't waste your money on something that's useless for someone. Just don't get them anything. Do not be forced to thinking that you should buy someone something just because perhaps they're giving you something. Doesn't go like that. This is where the shops make so much money selling crap that no one actually wants. Believe me, no one wants a little plastic box with a soap in it or a bit of shower gel. Unnecessary gifts. Don't waste your money. I don't think anyone's going to think anything less of you because you haven't bought them something. And you don't need to say, I couldn't afford it. You may well be able to afford it, but you may have thought, no, that's a waste of money, that gift. Do not buy it. Save your money. What people want is people around them. The very fact that you might go and visit someone or something like that is enough. You don't have to buy people gifts. Right, I'm going to give you the address to send cards to if you want to, boys and girls, just after reading out a couple of more messages. Paul and Lou love Roy's baseball cap and his shorts as well. Don't forget the shorts. Don't forget the shorts. Thomas says, Jesus is the reason for the season. Yeah, you're right. You're right. We have Christmas because of the baby Jesus. You're absolutely right. And anyone else who wants to celebrate it, that's fine as well. But that's why Christmas is Christmas. Christmas. The secularists say, oh, nothing to do with Jesus. The Catholics or whatever hijacked Christmas. No, they didn't. It was always like that. Always like that. Just understand that. Just understand. You don't have to believe. Doesn't matter. You don't have to believe in God if you don't want. But that's why Christmas is there. Because of that. Recently, the shops and all that, it's all been taken over and commercialised. But you're quite right, Thomas, that's what it is. Rob says, what did you think of the Sky News interview with the CEO of O2 trying to explain how they would compensate their customers and the businesses that potentially lost thousands of pounds due to the lack of data? The CEO just said, well, we'll compensate them in an O2 way. And Dermot Monahan, how do you say that name? Said, what is an O2 way, and the CEO said he didn't know what an O2 way was. Do you know what, Rob? On the subject of reimbursing people because their phone wasn't working for a while. So what? Phones were always breaking down when I was a boy. You just waited for someone to fix it. Things break. People don't seem to understand this. Things do break down sometimes. And okay, the O2 network, for a whole network to go down is unusual, but it's one of those things. Take it and get on with life. Why is life worth worrying? This is the bloody compensation culture. That's what it is, Rob. You know, oh, how much can I get for that? Oh, I want reimbursement for that. Oh, I'm offended. I've lost this, I've lost that. Things go wrong. Things go wrong. Just accept it. And, you know, I might drive to work tonight and my car will break down. I will lose tonight's wages if I can't get to work. I just accept that. One of those things. Just one of those things. Rob says it's not so much the everyday person, it's more like the business that were most effective. I doubt that most businesses were affected by one day. You know, it's just how it is. You can't expect everything to work all the time. What if my boiler packs up tonight and the boiler people can't get round for 2 days? Do I then claim then off the boiler people? No, I think it's a load of old crap. I really do. If you're not happy at O2, go somewhere else. That's what I would say. People just want compensation all the time. They always, and a lot of them lie as well. I'm not saying people, obviously the network went down. Have you seen these people go on holidays? There's been a few of those in the paper this year. You know, who say, oh, they were violently sick on holiday and all this business. And then you see pictures of them running around like there's no tomorrow. Liars. The compensation culture, I do not go along with at all, Rob. You may do. You maybe, I don't know. I mean, my best mate is one of those people who the slightest thing goes wrong, he's off with a letter trying to get something. Something for nothing. Something for nothing. I just accept the fact that, oh well, things just go wrong. Maybe that's an age thing, I don't know. Christ, I mean, in the 1970s, the lights used to go off 3 days a week. Do you remember that? The miners' strike. No one claimed any money off the miners or the coal board. And how many businesses lost money then? It's the compensation culture. And I haven't got time for it, I'm afraid. I haven't got time for that. Oh, good morning, Diane Jeb. You were a little bit late this morning, Diane. Edward is in Oregon. Oregon in the US of A. Aren't you, Edward? I've not been to Oregon there. Tell me, in Oregon, is there like... what would you call it? For tourists. What is there to do in Oregon for tourists? Is that somewhere where people would go on holiday at all? Oregon, do tell us. Right, here's the address if you want to send any Christmas cards in. It's there. It's a bit blurred out there. Was it better over here? Hang on a minute. It might be better over here. 1 minute. Let's do that. Is that better? Yes, it is. There we are. It's Central Station, Chris Reardon, okay? Send your letters to Chris Reardon, Central Station, 37 Wharfdale Road, Wharfdale, 37 Wharfdale Road, London, N1 9SD. Once again, Chris Reardon, Central Station, 37 Wharfdale Road, London, N1 9SD. Little cards like that, and I'm pleased to read them out on the show for you. Okay, let's have a look there. What's that there? Yes, I've got a Christmas backdrop to put up a little bit later. I've got to go to town as soon as I finish the show. I'm afraid my tax bill has arrived. Oh dear me, God! As a self-employed person, you have to save. The best way to do it is to save a little bit of your money each week, put it in an account, and that's all ready for the tax man. Not a lot of people don't do it. And they get this whacking, but it's not too bad, to be honest, my tax bill for the last 6 months. But some people, self-employed, they don't save the money out, and then they get this whacking great tax bill, and they can't pay it. And let me tell you, there's one bill that you absolutely want to pay, and that's your tax bill. Absolutely. And that just... I mean, it's not till January the 31st, for Christ's sake. Blimey, did they think I'm going to pay them earlier? I don't think so. I'll wait. I'll wait until 2 days before, then I'll push the button and the money will be sucked out of my account into the tax accounts of the Inland Revenue to pay for a few more little missiles to point towards various countries that we don't like. Good morning, there's my best mate, Ronny Gardner's there, who's already given me your card, I know, and I showed it last week. If only you were watching the show last week. That's my best mate there, Ronny. And he sent me a card. It's got a metal thing on saying Happy Christmas, I think it is, or December the 25th. And it's metal. Very, very tasteful indeed. Very tasteful. Paul, you're right, Chris. The millennials moaning about O2, wanting to try and get online in the 90s with a 33k screaming modem. Who had one of those? Did you have one of those? A modem. Here, do you remember the computer, the Sinclair Spectrum? And it had games on it. It was before the internet. And you had to load in the games from a cassette tape. You'd have a tape recorder plugged into this thing, into this computer. And you'd press play and it would go in. It took about 10 minutes to load a game in. And then sometimes it would fail. And you'd have to start all over again. Do you remember that? I remember the modems. I mean, here in this studio, I've got a 350 meg connection here. 20 up, 350 down. Even in the caravan, when I'm up at the caravan 3 days a week, when we do the shows from up there, that's over 4G. I've got 30 meg, I think about 30 or 40 meg coming in over to 4G, and about 20 meg going up again. That's just over 4G. 33k modem, what was that? It was like 0.3 of a meg. Oh, it was horrendous. The pictures used to come down slowly, didn't they? line by line. It was dreadful when you're on a dating site. You could only look. It took you about 2 hours to look at 3 people before deleting them because you didn't fancy them anymore. N19SD. N19SD is the postcode there, Katie. All right. The Christmas decorations for my tree, where are they? Well, there's some Christmas decorations down there, actually. Tax and council, road tax, sugar tax. There's all sorts of taxes, Roy. I hope you're paying all of them, dear. Otherwise, there might be a knock at your door. Might be the people from Can't Pay Well. Take it away. My favourite comedy programme on the telly. I love it. Paul had a Spectrum. It used to crash. Jet Set Willie and Manic Miner. I had, my favourite game was Attic Attack, where you had to go in this house and find keys and things like that. I never ever completed it, though. Never completed it. Hello to Veton the cat. Oh, my mate's got 4 cats. Delightful cats. Now, you shouldn't have favourites, but my favourite would be... Oh, actually, I haven't got a favourite. It would either be Ralph or Lauren. Ralph or Lauren. So he's got 4 cats, 2 ginger ones, Louis and Veton. They're the ginger ones. And then there's Ralph. He's a big grey thing. He's big. I mean, he's not fat. He's just big. You wouldn't want to row with that cat. You look at him and he could do some serious damage. Now, he's never scratched or bit me or anything like that, you know, but when he's asleep, I'm a bit wary of him, to be honest, and I go slowly towards him. All right, Ralph. But, you know, they open an eye, don't they? Oh, who's that now? No, I'll go back to sleep. They're so lazy, cats. Well, they're out all night looking for mice and birds and things like that. And you look, it's Chris. I will let him stroke me, and the eye closes again, and you just stroke him gently, and that's it. Now and again, you know, you might be stroking, and the head goes round like that, and he goes like that, and he wants that, doesn't he? He likes to have that. That's Ralph the cat. He's big. There's Lauren. She's a little girl. Little tabby cat, Lauren, and she is ultra friendly towards my best mate. She cannot leave my best mate alone. She's climbing all over him. I come like no one else is in the room. You know, I'll go and stroke her. She might come over for about 3 seconds and then jump straight off me and back onto my mate's lap. She loves my mate. And then there's the 2 ginger ones. There's Louis, who's he doesn't mind a little bit of stroke. They don't like being picked up, the ginger ones. They hate it. They absolutely hate being picked up. And there's Veton, and Veton hasn't been well for some time. And my mate has spent about £1,000 on her now, in and out of a vet, okay? In and out of a particular vet, actually, to no avail. And then he went to a different vet who did much cheaper, who did similar tests and found a parasite, I think, in his stomach. Poor little thing. Well, get this. The original vet he weren't happy with, apparently there was a bill outstanding for about 30 quid, something like that. Apparently she rang him yesterday, said, "Hello, is that Mr. So-and-so?" "Yes, it is. This is so-and-so vets. You owe us £30. And that was the opening line. Not "how's the cat" or anything like that. "Oh, by the way, you seem to have an outstanding bill here." See, people don't know how to talk to anyone anymore. How can you just pick up the phone? "You owe us £30. First phone call he's had no letters, nothing like that reminding him, just that phone call. Rude. I mean, if people were a bit nicer the way they spoke to people in the country, "Oh, by the way, I'm afraid we seem to owe us £30 at the moment. Would it be possible, will you be coming in at all this week at all? Or maybe could you tell us when you come in so we can just set our accounts right?" It's the way you talk to people. Go shouting and screaming it because you just put their backs up. He'll never go there again. You know, depriving that business of a potential thousands of pounds over 4 cats over a long period of time. Stupid people. Stupid people. Atari were popular machines. They had a wooden front. Yes, indeed. Ping pong, of course, as well. Ping pong. Thomas likes the Silver Star. That's quite old now, Thomas. I got to tell you, right, this is glass, okay? These corners here are actually, I mean, I really shouldn't have that behind me. if that was to come down on your head, that would do some serious damage. It's heavy, and the corners, I mean, I can do that, okay, right? It is heavy. That is quite heavy, but certainly some of the mirror bits here, right? The points are really, that would do some serious damage if it came down on your head. But yes, it is glass, and I don't know where it came from. Actually, I can't remember where I got that from now. I think it was from a company called Paper Chase. And that replaces the ball at Christmas time here. Paul still has his Spectrum. It still works. And the BBC Micro. Well, I didn't have one of those back in the days of Prestel. Then came Demon Internet. I had Demon. I was on Demon. chris@tboy.demon.co.uk. That was my name on Demon. I was with Demon. Yes. And then from Demon, was that my first internet? No, that was my second. My first internet was with Compuserve. Welcome to Compuserve. Was anyone else on Compuserve? First of all, I was on Compuserve, then on Demon, and then on NTL World. And I'm still on NTL World now, Virgin Internet. That's down here. I probably don't need that 350 meg connection anymore, but I mean, as it's here, I just leave it here, you know. 5G's coming as well, so that could be even faster, wouldn't it? Eh? Oh, John is running on Steam. The last game I loved was Tomb Raider. I don't know that one. My nephew, both of my nephews are into computer games. My older nephew, he's got one of these shooting games, you know, where you're running through various different scenes and all that and shooting each other. And he talks to his friends on a little speaker. He's got a microphone on and a headphone thing on there. And yeah, it talks to different people all over the world while they're playing the games. I don't know what they say to each other. You know, oh, quickly, there's someone behind you. I wish someone had told me that years ago. Perhaps I wouldn't have turned out like this. Thomas says politeness is key when talking to people. It absolutely has. It really has. Good. Can you do an experiment with a star? I could come round and drop it on your head and see what happens. Ain't he horrible? I'm so glad I'm not horrible like that to you, Ronnie. I really am. I am the nicest person as a friend. I absolutely am. Joanna used CompuServe, yeah. So it was generally when the internet first came out, you were either on AOL or CompuServe, one of those two. And I went with CompuServe because a friend of mine, it was Eric Wiltshire. He used to do a lot of the phone-in technology programs. He was on LBC with Steve Allan, and he used to do the phone-in. You know, if you have a technical problem, you know, sort of for an hour a week, he'd go in and answer all your technical queries and all that. There is one bloke on the radio who still does that. Actually, no, I haven't heard him for a while because LBC they used to have this like specialist hour at 9 o'clock every night. With Clive Ball. So Clive Ball was the presenter, and each night they'd have a specialist come on. Now, it might be like Monday might be mortgages. Tuesday might be the debt wizard, where we would advise you if you had debt. You might have a bloke doing technological programs on a Wednesday, a doctor on a Thursday night if you had any doctor problems, or a customer, or what do you call it? Consumer affairs, he might be. And they used to have that every night at 9 o'clock, and it was a really interesting listen. And they got rid of all that to replaced once again by news and politics. How boring. How boring. There's no variety on LBC. The only variety you get on LBC now is Steve Allan in the morning, who is still as hilarious as he always was. It's awful, awful. Paul, yeah, you're quite right. Of course, when you had CompuServe and A&L and all that, they were all worked over the phone line with modems, and you would block your phone line for hours on this thing. And then in came call waiting. If you've got call waiting on your phone, you can be talking to someone and it go beep beep, and someone's waiting to talk to you. Well, if that came on when you were on the computer, it just knocked you offline completely. Paul says, sounds like... Hello, Paul Adamson. Good morning, Paul. Sounds like my old friend Bob Tomowski. Radio Bob. No, it wasn't him. Wasn't him. Took him up to the LBC studios a few times. No, it wasn't him. Eric Wiltshire. Eric Wiltshire was my name. I know... who's the other one? Fevsy. Fevsy. He was on Play Radio with me when I was doing that a few years ago. So Fevsy Turkop. There is one bloke who does pop up now and again, and I'm not going to say his name. I can't even remember what station. He's rarely on anymore. And some people, they ring in with these things, and I know the answer to them. I don't know everything technologically. I'm not that good. But there are some times where you know the answer, and the bloke giving the answer, you think, this is all bullshit. He's making it up as he goes along. I kid you not. Mind you, there's a lot of people out like that, isn't there? Pretend to know stuff that they know nothing about at all. All right. I noticed that Ted Blaker bloke's in trouble, wasn't he? Because he gave forced hugs. Another, someone else who wants to complain on the television or somewhere like that for their few minutes of fame. Apparently he was given false hugs. Have you ever heard anything like it? I mean, no doubt the person getting the hugs is probably as ugly as sin and should be grateful of a hug from someone. Oh no, they've complained. They've complained. The Ted Baker bloke has been given forced hugs. I beg your pardon. Forced. I mean, if only someone would give me a forced hug now and again, I'd be very happy. So he's in the news at the moment. And that relates to, I'm sure that related to a story here. Yeah, it kind of relates to this story. Kind of. Look at this. Two friends asked the same man out with a brilliant note. This was in the Daily Mirror actually yesterday. A man was flattered to receive an unexpected note while he was at work, containing the offer of a date from not one, but two people. Lucky old him. The student, 23, was working at a shopping mall in Salt Lake City, Utah, last Friday, when a co-worker approached him and gave him a handwritten note on a scrap of paper. The letter was from shopper Tanner Forbes, also 23, an actor who has seen Cody while out with his friend, Danae. He wrote, "Hi, if you're not gay, my friend thinks you're cute. Here's her number." So it's a little bit school childish, but that doesn't matter. I think it's nice to get a little note like that, don't you? It says, his method seems a little bit primary school. My friend fancies you, but it's sweet. However, the note then continued, and if you're gay, here's mine. Cody shared a photograph of the note on Twitter account, saying, well, this is a highlight of my day. Tanner's genius note has since been retweeted more than 80,000 times and received more than 360,000 likes. Numbers that I could only ever dream of, boys and girls. There's hardly anyone watches this show. So high was the level of interest in the propositions, Cody has been updating his Twitter followers with what happened next, and it was bad news for Janie. He replied to the tweet revealing, "I texted the bottom number last night, so he's gay." It was followed by another update which said, "I asked if he wanted to go to a movie. He says he loves movies, and he said yes, so good on him." I might try that one. I could try that one, couldn't I? Obviously, my niece is married and all that, but to break ice, if I was out with, I think I'm going out with my niece next week actually, if I was out with my niece and I fancied someone who I think might fancy her, I could send them a note, say, my niece, sorry, I better not put niece because that makes me look old. Well, I am, I suppose, but that's not the point, is it? I could put something like, my friend fancies you. Her name is, and I put a false name, Mary. When you say Mary, her name is Mary. If you like her, ring this number. And I could put a false number. And then I could put underneath, but if you're gay, I fancy you as well. Here's mine. And see what happens. Do you think I should try that? Shall I try that? Shall I send a little note like to Malik, who was on the Celebrity Jungle thing? Or any of the Portuguese football team. Isn't it funny? Have you noticed, girls? The Portuguese football team are all deliciously good looking, don't you think? Not as good looking as me, but I mean, they're not far off it, are they? Paul says you've spoke about the tech guy. He's still on Radio 5, clueless. He doesn't know what a USB cable is. He really? Clueless. How do they get these jobs? How is it you got on the BBC? Is it the BBC? I don't know what station. I don't know what one you're talking about, to be honest. But you get on the BBC as a technical expert And you know sod all about anything. How do they do that? Oh, dear. And what's the time? 10:30. Listen, I'm going to have to go. I've got stuff to do. I've got to get into town before 12 and go swimming. And my mate's coming over for chips as well, I think, today. Let's have a look at the old scoreboard and tell you whose birthdays it is today. Only 4 birthdays today. David Wilson Bowyer. Good morning to you, David, and a big happy birthday to you on this Saturday, the 8th of December 2018. Gerrywalsh. Happy birthday to you, Gerrywalsh. Allan Robinson today is 57 years old, and Lindsey Kerr is a young 46-year-old. Happy birthday, boys and girls. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. That's to David, Jerry Walsh, Allan Robertson, and Lindsay as well. Happy birthday to you all, boys and girls. Okay, all right. That's it for the show today. Thanks ever so much for joining us, boys and girls. Hopefully be with you again tomorrow morning, round about 11ish. Tomorrow, 11:30 sort of time on Sunday with a different background as well. Hopefully, if I can get that done this afternoon. Have a lovely, lovely day. Thanks for watching and listening to the show. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye now.